Okay, we're live. Welcome to Shitcoin Talk, episode 10. We made it. We got 10 episodes. Great job, guys. Yeah, thanks, guys. I am dumb on Twitter. That's DUM.
Are we?
You can follow me there. I am dumb. I'm dumb. We'll just introduce everyone. We got Bitcoin Dad. Do you want to start it off and tag everyone you know?
Sure thing. Hey guys, Bitcoin Dad, altcoin trader, new coin miner. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at Bitcoin_dad. Pass it off to NitaCoin.
Hey guys, NitaCoin on Twitter, trading altcoins and following very closely what the markets are doing before they die. I will pass that off to Crypto Rogue.
Yeah, Crypto Rogue here. Managed to survive the second great alt dump of 2016. And ready to talk about which bags are going to bounce back to the moon. Pass it on to Godson.
I like that outlook.
Yes, great.
Hey, my name is Altcoin Godson at Manso_Godson on Twitter. I don't have a witty intro today because I'm just happy to be alive. Pass that off to Crypto Juggalo.
I'm at Crypto Juggalo, essentially a miner at heart. Been in the scene since March 2015. The moment, kind of trying to do my best to neglect my bags as much as possible and survive with the strategy I framed around doing so.
Good. I don't know if Moose is coming on. He said he might, but we'll introduce him if we see him. So, got a few. I'll just go over the coin list. Obviously, people are wondering why the hell STEEM is actually up in price. That's interesting. Ethereum Classic, we got Waves, Black Coin, maybe Folding Coin, Grid Coin, Cure Coin, all of those. Zero Coin, Rep, at what, Bitcoin moving up and stuff. We can talk about that. We got a list of stuff. So wherever you guys want to start it off, we can check out some charts and get into it. Dirty. Get dirty in some shit coins.
Ooh,
Let's do it.
kickity.
I guess we'll look at Steam. For once, it doesn't look like a steaming pile of shit.
It doesn't look like Vox anymore, is what we're saying.
No, I was just looking at Vox and I was trying to compare. I was like, well, Vox needs to do this. But, yeah, bounced pretty good.
Yeah, it's a...
From like 12,000 to over 38,000. So
Nice volume spike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did any news come out related to that?
I thought I saw something on YouTube that they were lowering the interest from like 100% to 9% or some shit like that. I don't know if you guys saw that, but
Like the emissions will be greatly reduced or something like that. But I didn't really read too much into it because it is Steam.
same here.
Well,
Yeah,
if they're doing that, they're curbing inflation. So that could have caused the buy-up with the idea that there will be a lot less selling pressure in the future because, if memory serves me correct, your rewards are delayed for a certain period of time anyway. Be the impetus as it was for that, or else it could be, it could potentially do what Vox did. Vox made their announcement and then they bounced 150%, they doubled 2.5 times, and then they made newer lows. So, the whole Steam model is still kind of shady. Yeah, that highlighted piece right there. We could continue doing that. I haven't seen a kind of a sideways off a bottom, which is what you really want to see when a coin is falling apart. You want to see it hit the ground and just kind of start dragging its mangled body to the right for a while, and then it goes back up. I don't trust bounces off the bottoms very well because generally you're like, oh, if you look at each of those fractals you highlighted, it looked like we reached the bottom. And then it bounced. And then what did it do? Continue to make new lows. So I'd be wary of jumping back in just yet.
Especially now because it's already gone up this much. Like if you were in, 12,000, then great. But it's sitting at a $44 million market cap, which I still think is like quite high for what it is.
Yes.
So it could just end up like this. I mean, it's Steam. And the same thing with Vox. I mean, yeah, we could just like, if our, look at Vox. I mean, it did the thing a few times.
Yes, it had the same kind of thing. I just think there's just so much selling pressure available out there and available in the future that there's no real reason for it to go up yet.
Yeah, and there's so much better stuff to buy. Just buy better things than those things. Like,
That's pretty much it for me. I think out of 300 coins, you can go find something better to buy than Steam.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been a fan of the project. A lot of what I heard is it's just very sketchy as far as how they do things. And I don't trust the bounce. It's a, to me, it's just kind of a bag holder trap that, we saw it in Vox all the time. I got caught by one of the Vox bounces and had to sell at a loss. So if you psychotic enough to buy at the low, which, some people just went out and bought everything on that Bitcoin spike, and that paid off. I mean, I'd probably sell now, get your 2-3 times, and walk away. I wouldn't be surprised if it made new lows sometime this month.
Yeah, even say like LBC.
I can assure you, no Steam bag holder is currently in profit right now.
Yeah.
Well, the guys who made articles and never actually bought coins.
Can they even cash out their Steam? I thought they
Not yet. I guess they're still non-profit technically.
Exactly.
I saw there's a tweet going around or something that some guy tweeted that he saw on the forums that someone invested 400 Bitcoins into Steam and now it's worth 20 or something like that.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you invest that into Vox, I think they'd be worth like half a BCC. So they were worse choices out there to make.
Yeah.
Could always be worse.
All right. So yeah, that's Steam.
Steam is still a pile of shit.
I'm getting
the low, sell. Otherwise, don't try and buy back in. Much better opportunities out there.
I'm getting sick, dude. I'm getting sick talking about Steam. Yeah, take a Tylenol.
All right, let's switch it up.
Yep. Okay. Where do you want to go next?
Whatever's next on the list.
Down the rabbit hole. Ethereum Classic. Dun, dun.
Barry Shilbert.
Shilbert doing his thing.
Shilbert and Choina make it work.
Close.
Yeah, we got exchange news. I think that was the big push. So.
Yes. BTC China is adding ETC and not ETH, I believe is the news.
Yep.
And obviously, good old Barry stating that he's increased his holdings exponentially, which always is an impetus to buy. Their inflation, they're going to be reducing block rewards, unlike Ethereum, and they also want to keep it proof of work indefinitely as opposed to switching to proof of stake. So, long-term wise, I actually think that they are going to have better fundamentals in place than Ethereum. And, those are all good moves in my opinion. Historically, proof of work coins have done better than all the proof of stake coins over the long run. So I think those are all good moves. And plus, ETC has a big Chinese contingent that's involved in their development, which I don't think Ethereum has. Ethereum has Golden Boy Vitalik and his purple backpacks running the show. So, and we've all seen how well that's worked out.
Yeah.
What kind of volume does Bitcoin or BTC China?
I thought they had like the biggest Chinese volume or something. Like they did like millions of Bitcoin volume a day. I think it's fake. Like I don't really know.
Yeah, they have. I mean, all the Chinese exchanges run volumizers aggressively, but they are still a pretty big player. I mean, they were one of the big impetuses for the LTC spike. Was it last year, or the year before, when LTC made that run to $20 a coin from like $9 a coin? That was led by BTC China, followed by the other exchanges. The thing is, if one Chinese exchange does it, it could lead the others to do it, so they don't lose volume. You look at all the Chinese exchanges; they all trade the same pairs.
I agree on that.
And so if BTC China becomes the only one to trade ETC, because none of them trade Ethereum, we could potentially see the others follow suit depending on what kind of volume they pull in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and if that happens, we could see a massive run up.
BTC did $720 million in volume on the Chinese pair for Bitcoin today.
Wow.
Yeah, they're an interesting one because when I watch the Bitcoin markets as far as who's moving it, I rely on Hoobs and OKCoin a lot more than I do BTC China.
Yeah.
Because I think their volume is less faked. But BTC China still does a shit ton of volume, man. So, opening up ETC to a Chinese market like that could do some wild things, especially, with their capital controls.
That's why the price is going up along with Barry Silbert tweeting about it. So,
I mean,
very speculatory. Obviously, my concern is once it does get added, it's going to dump, but we'll have to wait and see, just because that's what tends to happen in these cases. If anybody, like I said, everyone was able for the big, China's adding Litecoin, you saw that in spectacular fashion. The run up to $20 a coin was amazing, and then it literally died, and it's never gotten back. So that is one thing to be aware of. I think there's still room. They've set a date for the adding yet?
No, it's like undecided. They don't.
Yeah, and the exchange actually, I saw them do a tweet earlier because I think Barry was kind of jumping the gun. He was making it sound like it was going to be something soon, and the exchange replied back saying, well, we plan to add it, but it's to be determined. So they kind of clarified that it wasn't going to be something tomorrow. But
yeah, it's like confirmation that it's not happening soon, but confirmation that it is
going to happen.
Which is probably that's almost the best thing to have, because if it's soon, you're going to see a massive spike. If it's happening slowly, it gives the ETC team more time to hype some news around it and get some things in place to almost maintain this this reversal. So if it next week, we would see some massive buy-ups, very speculatory. So with it taking a bit more time, we can kind of have a slow kind of re-emergence of a bullish cycle, hopefully, for ETC, especially since Ethereum just seems to be making mistake on mistake on mistake.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too, is that, it seems like ETH is definitely losing its ground in regards to the market and kind of what's going on. They lost a lot of its hash power. I think it was down 40% ever since the ZEC launch. So maybe it's going to be overlooked, especially when compared to ETC.
The profitability for ETC now is actually, I think it's better than ETH. So, there's just a bunch of variables. And so.
Yeah, that's another good point to bring up, is we've got to watch that ETC hash power to see if it starts stealing stuff from both Ethereum and Zcash.
Because it could be Chinese. Wouldn't the Chinese want to be mining it?
It's GPU miners are going to mine whatever's the most profitable. And if it looks like ETC is going to keep on going up, we're going to see GPUs switch over.
Right now.
Hello?
I heard someone on Twitter say that it was actually the most profitable to mine. It's actually more profitable to mine ETC right now than even Zcash or
I saw that.
Yeah, Zcash is on the list, kind of. Not much really to say there. It launched and
let's wait until we get some rewards.
Yeah.
Until the slow release period's over, and then then we'll have something to talk about. For now, we're still complete speculation on.
Yeah, Zcash and Ethereum Classic are like neck and neck. Zcash isn't more profitable right now, but it wasn't earlier today. So.
Right, and right now it's looking like ETC's got a bit more of a guaranteed upside versus Zcash, because obviously we don't know how the increase in rewards on Zcash is going to affect the price. It could push it down further, and we have ETC trying to get a kind of a bull run going. So my GPU miners have switched to ETC since Gilbert started shilling again.
Yeah, that's a good indicator, I guess. Like, I don't know. Was he? I mean, he tweeted that he was doing it before the last bump too. So I mean, like, so it's a good indicator so far. Yeah. You guys all have some ETC? Have you been buying?
Yeah,
I bought some literally as soon as he announced that sub 13, and then I opened the next longs because I think he tweeted that on Wednesday. So I opened up, their 7-day contract, and then as soon as they expired on Friday, I reopened a fuck ton more, and they're all up nicely. I'm going to hang on to them for the rest of the week. So, but yeah, I went out and I bought hard, and it's actually done better than I expected. I was expecting it to kind of stall around the 0.0015 mark, but it looks like we could push through that quite nicely and keep on going.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people that asked me, because I mentioned some of the coins that I was holding, and people asked me why I wasn't holding ETC, and the risk reward. I see it going up. I don't trade a lot of margin stuff because I just don't want to do that kind of risky stuff. But yeah, if you're a margin trader, this is a pretty easy sort of just take this one and make some money in the next few weeks. But if you're trading less than 1 BTC per trade, then it's not exactly the best coin to buy right now. Hopefully we Polo. Some people are trying to get Polo to add margin trading, and you can get a less risky it's not 10x or whatever
Right.
offers there, but yeah, you could just easily do a lower and more rewarding type of trading. But I don't really think Polo's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to add any
more. Until they sort out their regulation issues, there will be no more margin trading added. They already announced they're looking for somebody with experience in margin trading and stuff, but they have regulatory issues that they are trying to resolve. And the thing is, I imagine if they do resolve that, they will add quite a few coins to be margin traded. All their high caps are going to be margin tradable, would be my bet.
You can short STEEM to 0.
Yes. Well, that's a gimme. So, yeah, I'd say bullish on ETC still, despite the fact that it bounced, quite a bit off the bottom. I think it's still got room to move, with this Chinese adding being a few weeks away still. So I like it. Not planning on selling anytime soonish. I want to see kind of how far it can go.
Same. I'm in. I'm holding tight with the bags.
It's interesting you mentioned the Ethereum Classic bounce. That bounce is also reflected actually in the net hash rate chart. Going through just comparing between Ethereum Classic, and Zcash, you're looking at about 3.8 terahash with Ethereum right now. That's been on a steady decline since Zcash. Ethereum Classic, you're going through looking at about 330 gigahash per second. Again, steady decline, but a little bounce recently. And then Zcash, you're looking at about 8.3 mega hash right now, with steady increase since launch. So still kind of big disparities between the networks overall there.
Yeah, because those are probably the biggest 3 mining networks right now. The most popular ones at least.
Yeah. As long as you have a graphics card, you're doing well right now. All this does is just creates more demand for stuff. So if you're already a GPU, just takes solace in knowing that your stuff isn't as worthless as it was before. All these big GPU coins launched. So
as for Ethereum, I think it's pretty interesting how it can still hang around a $1 billion market cap, basically 5 times higher than any other altcoin, with all the issues that it's had over the last since DAO launch basically. So
Yeah.
it's quite insane to think that it's that much. And then if you're comparing Ethereum Classic and Ethereum, Ethereum Classic really does look endless. At the same time, with news delayed, I'm not as bullish on the news delay. I think that causes a great amount of people who will sell, who are looking for quicker profits, and then you might get some good buy opportunities. I wouldn't buy the top on this run. I would be a little bit more careful and kind of watch where my buys are placed and just follow it up.
Yeah, it is also like a larger volume market. So I mean, it moves pretty quickly. So I mean, you can get caught up in a move you don't want to be in sometimes. So, but yeah, good stuff. Do you guys know anything about Rep? Because I still don't.
No, that's one of the most recent coins that I only have so much time to pay attention to so many coins, and that's one I just literally just ignored completely.
I dumped Rep when it launched, and I haven't looked back. I haven't even rebought anything yet, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, until Loops mentioned it, I really have kind of overlooked it also. But he seems pretty bullish on it, so I might
The only
roll
notable
Loops.
thing I can think is that there was a 600 Bitcoin buy wall at like 620,000, and it got dumped into for 250 Bitcoin worth of Rep or Augur, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know how to say that. So, and now it bounced up pretty well, I noticed. So, it was interesting. Someone wanted to buy like $400,000 worth of Rep.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, my concern with Rep is that it's built on the Ethereum blockchain, and that is a shit show. So, that's always an issue. A lot of other projects have moved off of it. But I mean, markets aside, it did have a decent bounce off the bottom. Although, mind you, everything is bouncing off the bottom at this point, so it's hard to say whether that's different from all the other coins. Literally everything bottomed the past week. So, we'll have to wait and see what that does. It still has a pretty high market cap compared to a lot of other things.
Yeah. I noticed that you said something about Rep being built on the Ethereum blockchain. Like all those things that are built on there are having issues, or were having issues before Ethereum hard forked again. So it's like, it's like a liability kind of, it feels like, more than
obviously any Ethereum are going to cause issues with those projects. But like I said, that might not stop market makers and whales from doing their thing. Half the time they don't give a shit. So
yeah, like Shapeshift said that they were like suspending service until Ethereum hard forked for all of the Ethereum assets and stuff. So like exchanges have to, it's kind of weird. I haven't paid attention to Rep, so I guess we can.
We can skip it. I don't think anybody knows anything about it.
Good. What about those research coins? You guys like that folding coin?
I've always liked the research coins. I mean, a lot of them pumped hard, and there's still a handful that never really did, and I'm still waiting for them to, and when I say pumped hard, I mean a bunch of them went times 10-ish, give or take. And then a couple went times 3, times 4. And so, they're reliable as far as they're going to pump at some point again, eventually.
Seems like Folding Coin has like a meeting pump. Whenever they have these meetings, there's definitely some action on the coin. I want to say this happened the last 2 or 3 times they had meetings. So I don't really know what's involved with the meetings, but it's funny how these meetings occur and there's usually some price action right around that time.
Yeah, I mean, Folding Coin's one that had the massive pump almost times 20.
I was just looking at that. So it pumped like in one day. There was like the volume was 1.33 billion Folding Coins were traded, and there's I think there's only 400 and something million of them. So I mean, it's like that was the most crazy volume, and it went 10 times, more 10 times. It's like
it went about 17, 18 times. That pump started at like 50 sats, and we hit a high of 818. So it's about 15 times. And I think that was the second research coin to go more than times 10. I'm trying to think which one went before that, because
Cure coin.
Cure was a Cure. Was that the
I believe
first
so.
one?
That one took off because that one. I was looking at when alts were dead in like February or something like that, and it was like at 3,000, 2,000 kind of, and then that one went up to 45,000.
Yeah, I mean that one was a times 10, and I think
from 5,000 to 45,000. So.
Yeah, so a lot of the research coins started pumping. I think, DRC, God bless its heart, tried, and the best it could do was barely a times 4. I kind of expected it to pump a bit more, and I think a lot of people did. So
it dumped and bounced, but it didn't bounce nearly as hard as some other alts did.
No, I mean it's barely bounced still.
Yeah, needs a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's a heavy bag of mine right now. So I mean, research coins, I like them. Most of them have pretty good development teams doing stuff, but my issue is, when them pumped in the beginning of September, so it might be a little too soon for them to repump, but they have the potential within the next 3 to 6 months to go back up aggressively. I normally look for at least 4 or more months between one big pump for another one. You don't get them kind of one after the other unless it's like a test pump, but most of them didn't test pump. Most of them, a times 10 isn't exactly a test pump, especially when you're hitting new all-time highs and stuff like that. So a lot of them could be in almost a reasonable accumulation range if they keep going sideways-ish. If you bought them in the past week or so with the Bitcoin move, I would just sit on them for quite some time, because I'd be very impressed if they retested these lows.
I think GRC is one that, I mean, I think it's still like it's going to be accumulated again. It's like
yeah. I mean that's one that never made a new major high either. You look at that. That
was after rebranding.
Beginning of the year,
9,300, but so that was like after the swap or something like that, or whatever they did.
Well, that pumped when everything was pumping back in the first quarter of the year.
Right.
You look back, we had a lot of pumps in March, February, and then we saw a lot in August, September. 6 months apart. You look at a lot of the charts, you'll see that. They all had these, many spikes in between that, but the big ones take about 6 months of nonstop accumulation to happen. So, considering that they went hard in September, we're almost looking at February, March again, and we could expect a big spike. If you're looking for a double to sell half on, you'll get one of those soon enough. If you're looking for the times 10, you're going to have to sit on it for a while. Simple as that.
Yeah.
As for folding coin, I just want to jump back to that quickly. I did start a bag about a week ago here. They have every month on YouTube, on their folding coin YouTube channel, they have public meetings where they come out and release the news, and I like that. It kind of keeps people off their back and off the form kind of every day. When's news going to release, right? Every month you're going to get something. So I do appreciate that, and it is kind of in a bottom area. I think if they get any sort of major news, it's just going to be a reason to take flight. As of right now, this though looks like more of a long-term hold. I wouldn't be expecting any 300s anytime soon. So
right, and again, especially after if you're watching this, it's already moving and stuff. So
I do like the transparency of the YouTube videos though, and I think looking at the charts, other people have responded very good with them as well. So
that's it. You don't see that very often, and it's a good thing. I think Scenario Amp, does that as well. And there's a few of them that do, but yeah, it's a good thing. Well, I guess we will move on. We got the other picks are not that. There's maybe, I don't know, Waves, Start, Black Coin.
Blackcoin's dying painfully.
Yeah,
Waves
you
is pumping. Waves, they just shook everybody out below ICO price. It's actually pretty beautiful to look at the chart. They fucking made people get infuriated and mad and angry and said, fuck this bag. And then they took it to the fucking moon. They are dicks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. You look at below, what was the ICO? 36? So yeah, I mean, we launched above it. We dumped. You always had that initial spike. And then they kind of trapped us below that for months.
2 months, 3
They
months.
shook so many people out, and then they did that, that mini spike there in there's two little waves up and down in September going into October to kind of give people a chance to get out at break even, essentially, which, you're like, yay, we're break even. I can get out and, use my funds for other things. And then they take it up. So I'm one of the ones that got out of break even and was all excited about it. And now I was just like, fuck you guys. Damn it.
Yep. That's brutal. That was pretty crazy when I heard it.
Yeah, so
5.
I kind of knew about the whole that's been the MO of these post NXT guys. They this is how they run pretty much all of their projects, and you're probably going to see the same thing with Komodo and like all the new ones. But yeah, so I kind of knew, and I pretty much held my bag all the way. I exited OTC, and then I held some for the exchange, and when I saw what happened, I exited at break even. But then I rebought, and I just held. I've held it for like months, and I got my first double at I think 55. Then I exited. Then I'm still
because the low was
doing
about
it right now. So
25.
Polo, just waiting for Polo, and see what goes on from there. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll ever get into Polo.
Yeah, everybody's waiting for that Polo ad.
Dude, everyone's waiting for a Polo ad.
Well,
for anything.
The thing Polo, they're still
Cutting
not
out,
followed
really.
yet, and that's what's behind this new pump is.
But if I remember correctly, wait.
So,
Yeah, you're fine. Godson, you're done. You're cutting out really bad.
I mean, wasn't the Waves ICO right around the time Dow was out also? I mean,
the Waves ICO was right after like Dow and Lisk, which were both like wild rise, and everybody was expecting the same thing from Waves and Rise were hyped up because of what Dow and Lisk did their first 3 days after launch. And then they both didn't do shit.
I think a big thing with me for Waves is $34 million market cap on what is the 20th largest exchange in crypto. Then that just doesn't really quite sit well with me. So there, to me, to see on the 20th biggest site a coin that's worth 100 million plus doesn't really make sense. So for me, that's definitely a no touch. But each to their own on that.
It was a great buy, sub ICO price. I probably wouldn't buy it now.
Absolutely, it was, but yeah, it's a very risky trade. If it does just get stuck on Bittrex, you're looking at $60,000 volume, $34 million. I don't know if you're going to draw in enough attention.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. So I swear I don't live in the jungle. This thing is just retarded. But what I was saying was they have the full note coming out, and when that happens, then you're going to see a Polo listing. That's basically what's behind the pump now.
We'll see. That'll be cool.
Yeah. Hey, if Polo adds it, I'll just FOMO buy some.
I'm in the same boat.
Like I got the ad notifications on lock.
I've heard way too many Polo ads in my time to jump on board and sit on this one for 6 months waiting for it.
I'll FOMO buy and sell for, whatever gain I can make. I might not even move the coins. I might just leave them on Trex and sell them there because half the time, by the time it gets to Polo, it's a shit show. So, yeah, if it adds YOLO FOMO and roll with it. I mean, I think everybody in here has done that before and has made good money if they sold quick enough. You know, it's almost a guaranteed 20 to 50%, depending on the coin itself. If it works out well if you didn't get in early enough and held.
Yeah. Yeah, the Polo FOMO, that's always a good one.
Mm-hmm.
There was
that's one of my favorite plays.
Oh yeah,
I'll sit and wait with things on notification, and that's the only way that I'll sit and partake in those. I won't accumulate ahead of time. I just wait and hope that the notification comes along at a time that I'm free and able to catch it.
Yeah, not at 2 a.m. So.
There was what was I gonna say? There's one thing I wanted to touch on real quick, and it's about Bittrex. So they had that they had Trig, which obviously was just stupid as hell. Then E-Boost, there it is. You know what happened? I think the crowd sale was like 10 times the price it was last night. I haven't looked today. It bounced up a little bit. Good for them. Crowd sale was like, we talked about it last night. I can't remember, it was like 25,000 or something.
Whew.
And it opened
$25,000 or BTC?
25,000 Satoshis.
Oh, sats, sorry.
It opened at about 24,000, and then the next 30 minutes it was down to 12,000, and now it's sitting at 4,359. Wow. After last night, it was down to like 2,000 or 4,000 or something. So like, what the fuck is this? You know?
I don't know. Shake out the ICO buyers.
I guess
Isn't that just one of the Blasco coins that Trex keeps listing?
The Vox, and the Unbreakable coin ad, and then E-Boost and Trig. I don't know if Trig was either, but maybe.
Just don't buy anything that gets name on it.
Bittrex has not had a good reputation on ads lately.
Yeah, try to give like them the benefit of the doubt and stuff, and it's like it's hard. It's hard to. So, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was kind of funny and stupid and.
Yeah, and the way I look at it, the way I was looking at it is, I love Trex. They've helped me out in the past and security-wise, top notch and what have you. But as customers on their site, everybody wants to make fucking profits. So if you keep hosting these ICOs, within a week you're down 80%. Your customers aren't going to be happy. They're going to be like, what the fuck? Yeah. Why you keep hosting this stuff? So any suggestions to them would be, do some more research. I don't know, maybe they're just getting paid and like whatever, but the customers can't be happy because they ultimately want to trade to make money. And these coins, people getting in on them when they're being offered with the ICO, they're not making money at all. They're getting slaughtered.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just dumb. It's
basically just Yobit level shitcoin, hosting, and it's kind of sad because it's Trex, and we all like Trex and we hope they do well, but whatever it is they're doing with Blasco and his crew of shitcoin makers is just it's gotta stop.
Yeah, I was looking at the Trig website when it came out, and I was looking at I looked at the members of the team and stuff, and I was like, what? That kind of looks like a weird name. And then I looked on the guy's LinkedIn they linked, and it was like they spelled his like last name wrong. And it's like he's like some guy from Intel or something. I was like, dude, are you gonna spell that guy's name wrong? He's like part of your team, supposedly. And it's just like so many red flags just right when you look at it. So.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I don't think an exchange should be hosting an ICO. I mean,
no.
Let the ICO deal with their own shit, and when they release the coin, you can do what you do. You can make it available for trading. The issue with hosting the ICO yourself is that you are essentially attaching your reputation to the ICO. So if the ICO turns out to be a giant fucking scam, that comes back to you because you're the ones that hosted it. Whereas, here's the ICO, here's a coin, our traders wanted to add it so they could trade it. We're not going to hold Trex accountable if if it
Yeah.
tanks, well, fuck that coin. It's just garbage.
Yeah.
But when you host the ICO, part of the blame ends up on you. I mean, that's just the way it works. So
You host
Yeah.
the ICO, and then after all the dumpers or all the people who made the coin dump, 9 months later you delist the coin, and the only people left are the pissed off customers. That's
Right.
when everybody starts having issues.
Right. So adding an ICO coin, a coin that had an ICO to trade is fine. Hosting it, I feel, is a risk an exchange shouldn't make purely because you're attaching your reputation to that ICO. And even if EBIS were to go back up above ICO price eventually, which it might do, who knows? You've still done some damage, pissed some people off, lost some traders, things like that. So, add ICO coins once they're available for trade, no problem, because that's what you're there for. You're an exchange where to trade coins, but don't go hosting ICO because you are tied
It becomes
to.
a Trex ICO. That's what it becomes.
Yes.
The Trex ICO, and they are cursed at this point.
Yep.
You want to give your money to someone, just go buy a Trex ICO and you'll give it to somebody. I don't know.
Well, we have a donate link, so donate it to us, and we guarantee you it's not going to drop 80% in value in a week.
Yeah, you can buy
Maybe 50% if you make a bad trade. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
donate in the link, and then we'll go meet up somewhere and have a live show.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of giving it to... Yeah, maybe we should just have our own Trex ICO. Just
There we go.
go.
We promise it's only going to go
Shitcoin.
down by 50%.
Yeah.
So you're better off than all the others right off the bat.
Shitcoin, talk coin.
And we'll do a show spending all the profits, and you guys can see what we buy for the profits. It'll be like in Vegas or something.
At least you'll get something back from it.
Yeah, some
Right.
entertainment.
Like a YouTube video. So, all right. Someone talked about zero coin in the troll box. What I saw. So let's just talk about zero coin. Its comparison to zero cash, how it's holding up. It doesn't look like it's faring too well because the launch. This was the zero cash launch on Polo, and after that, it pumped up and kind of shit the bed a little bit.
Right. Well, it dumped with everything else. It looked like it was going to hold that million or that 500,000 market cap floor at 0.005. 0.005 was a million market cap, which is a number that you want to have. And it dumped right through that along with everything else. Potentially shake people out. It looks like it likes the range it's been at now.
Yeah,
It's kind of plugging along sides. Yeah. There's been a lot of shilling on Twitter that I feel is still premature. I don't think
How many coins are being mined per day?
I'm not sure. There's 315,000 now, and I don't know if they didn't do a slow start. I'm not sure if the supply is the same as Bitcoin. So
They've been having some mining issues, haven't they? Didn't they just tweet out that they fixed the mining stuff?
the miners or the algorithm was fucked.
I'm just wondering if the market cap is only going
Yeah.
to increase because the amount of coins is also going to increase, which will lead us to hover around these prices for quite some time is kind of what I'm just questioning.
It could be, but I don't think it's going to be like near as bad as Zcash, because Zcash is obviously worth like $500 or $400 a coin or something, and the rewards are only going to steadily increase. Whereas I don't think this one does have the slow start, so the rewards have been like linear the whole time. So
Also, a big difference in coin supply though too, right? 8,000 to 310 or whatever you said.
Right. Yeah. I think it's just due to the slow start of Zcash. I mean, there's like 110 coins mined on the first day. It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Wondering what the mining schedule on this one is, because that might be where the market cap increase comes from, and increases it back to 1 million is just from that. But I could be completely off. I know a lot of you guys are in this coin, so I probably shouldn't say too much.
I am not. I have not. I mined it a little bit with some like free.
Yeah, I don't believe Zcoin has a slow start. They just say that they have the same distribution as Bitcoin. They want to have 21 million coins, halving cycle every 4 years.
Okay, so it is the same as Bitcoin. Is it 10 minute? It's not 10-minute blocks, right? Or is it? Is it 2.5-minute blocks?
the blah, 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 no idea, but during the first 4 years, 40 Z coins will go to the miners and 10 will go to the founders reward. And after that, it's all miners. So I don't see anything about, ramping it up. So, I'd assume that whatever pace we're on is the pace we're going to stay at.
Yeah, and this,
roughly. So there's no reason to believe that the rewards are going to increase rapidly like Zcash is going to do.
I was just wondering in general how many coins were being mined per day. The volume is right now about 30 Bitcoin. So, so if there's around 30 Bitcoin of coins being mined per day, well, it's going to counter itself out, right?
Yeah, it's like the first 4 years of Bitcoin. I don't know the exact numbers, like 10 million coins mined.
The last 25 minutes looks like 5 blocks have been mined.
Oh, so like 5-minute blocks or something like that. Okay. Yeah, it looks, I don't know, I don't know. Yeah, the supply is not really an issue in this one. It's going to have to find a bottom and kind of hold there, but the supply is not. In 4 years, every year you'll get 2.5 million coins, which it's still not that much, I guess.
With the supply starting out so low, it reminds me of staking in that sense, where the supply starts out really low, and then you keep seeing it ramping up, right, until we get, is it going to be able to hold once it hits 1 million coins? Is it going to be able to hold that 280,000 Satoshis?
Right, you got to just see when the supply is coming in too fast for the market cap, and the market cap is being inflated.
Exactly.
I don't know. If the 1 million coins, there'd be a $1.5 million market cap. So, is the coin worth that much? Has there been developments? Like you're talking about, there has to be some reason for it to go up in Satoshi value as well, otherwise, or stay the same. Otherwise, it's just going to go down with the supply.
Well, obviously, what Zero Coin has going is very similar tech to Zcash. They differ slightly, but they are very, very similar. And the amount of essentially founders rewards that they're taking is quite a bit lower than the Zcash guys, who are taking a shit ton for themselves and their investors. So.
Yeah, with their founders rewards is only 10%.
Yes.
So that's half. Yeah, Zcash rewards is kind of hefty, but they are doing their own thing, so whatever. But 10% is not nearly as much, which means there's going to be more supply on the market from miners. So
the one thing I do like about the slow release, instead of just handing funds over in an ICO, the slow release, it kind of gives incentive for them to keep the project up and alive, and every time it drops half, they lose half their money, right? So nobody wants to take a pay cut.
Oh no, definitely, this is a better form of dev funding than ICOs. I agree with you 100%.
So from that aspect, I like it. I guess for me, it would just be more curious on how many rewards are being given out before I would want to make a prediction on where this chart could really go.
Yeah, what's funny about the Zcash dev fund or whatever, the reward, they already sold a portion of it off. I can't remember how many coins they sold. They sold 100,000 of them or something like that. They sold them at $15 each, which right now you'd love to buy a Zcash for $15 each. So they sold them at a pretty reasonable price. So I don't know, it's just a different way of getting money, I guess. But as far as Z coin goes, it's probably gonna keep in this range. I can't imagine it.
I'd like to see some sideways from here. I'm okay with it.
If it pumps it, I think it'll get shot back down without it going sideways a little bit.
Yeah, as long as I want to say that while it's on Trex, it might not pump hard, but some coins have pumped pretty aggressively on Trex recently. So if, all these Anon coins are in a weird space right now, because I think everybody's looking to Zcash to take their cue on. And so we'll wait and see, you're almost looking for some news or some fundamental development, or for Zcash to almost drop the ball so they can kind of try and claim the upper hand. And we definitely see that a lot in this space. As soon as one coin of a certain tech kind of has a reason not to be the big dog, the coins that compete with this just kind of absorb some of that market share very, very quickly.
Yeah. Are you guys mining Zcoin? Or are you guys mining Zcoin? They just released a new algorithm update or something, so I'm not sure if you can even do GPUs or not, but I don't know if you guys were mining or not.
I have no idea how to mine Lyra too.
No,
No, I'm not.
Yeah, early on, but
possible
not
to
anymore.
mine unless you have a large CPU freaking farm somewhere, or you're renting CPUs from AWS or Volta or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty tough to mine. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to really talk. I mean, other than that, it's kind of down. It's in a downtrend. It needs to go sideways probably to get kind of shimmy its way out of this little downtrend it's in. But I mean,
Essentially,
there will be some
let's
upsides.
just see some sideways for a while, and it'll be fine. I think this level is decent. It's sustainable. It's not too much selling pressure at the price. So, and I'm okay with the going sideways and holding a bag from here for a while, with the intention that it could go back up quite nicely once they make some more developments.
Yeah, and the way that this one could compete with Zcash, actually, it is a competitor. So, if Zcash has its flaws, then this one's still holding strong. You'll see a lot of money going, back and forth between them when they have their ups and downs, I bet. So, and there's also the possibility of, Polo adding a coin like this one where, I mean, it just depends how, competent
that mythical Polo ad that we're all waiting on still.
Yeah, for every coin we have, just please add it.
Yeah, I don't even think about polo ads no more. If it happens, it happens. I wouldn't think nothing
Yeah,
else.
That pipe dream.
speculation on these coins going there is just a shot in the dark.
Opium,
Nobody really
baby.
knows.
Got
Yeah.
that opium.
I know a few of you guys are on the DNET moon train.
Oh, yeah.
Been on it for a while.
Yeah.
Still waiting for it to actually get to the moon. I think we reached lower atmosphere.
Yeah.
And we just waiting for the real breakout to happen.
Yeah.
It's been hovering in this range for a little bit. It's triple top here. Hit 1600 4 or 5 times now. So we'll see if it decides that it wants to push up. If not, probably slam down a little bit.
Yeah, look at the chart. Most people should be about ×3 right now, or ×2.5 if you were buying it in that kind of sub 600 range where it sat forever. They had a whole bunch of issues with their wallets and stuff like that they were resolving. And it was a pretty good buy because they do have a good development team. And I've been waiting for this to happen for a while, but I want to see it. Yeah, you could see that accumulation range there perfectly sub. What's that? Under 800. It kept on getting rejected there. That's just gorgeous. So what we're seeing is, we're looking for that kind of that break of 1600, that break of 1800, and really to kind of blow past those opening day highs, and then it's kind of game on. So still holding. I sold a little bit at kind of 15.5. But kind of have a pretty hefty bag still holding. So, but I got in in that sub 600 range was where literally 80% of my bag got bought. So I'm happy to hold for a while. I don't see myself losing on this,
Right.
But I'm hoping for a bigger win.
Yeah.
I've never bought DNET because I just have a bias against it. I remember when 7hacks put up the pre-an in 2015, and I was just waiting for this thing for months to launch, and then they launched and didn't launch with a Windows miner, and I just couldn't get in on it. And I since then I've always had this reservation for it, but it seems like it's doing well. But I also have to mention that I have a thing against coins that are privacy based now that Zcash is here. I mean, everyone's talking about even Bitcoin getting taken, while Zcash is here, and I just don't really see privacy coins that I mean, it's got the masternodes and whatever, but yeah, I still have my reservations with that coin. So
Yeah, there was a time long ago I bought DNET at 101 Satoshi, but that was a long time ago.
I thought April like last year. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's gone up. I mean, it's a nice accumulation range. Whether or not the whales or the market makers want to keep pushing it up, we'll kind of have to wait and see. We definitely hit some major resistance there at 1600, as you can see, very wiki at the top on the daily. So it might drop down to almost reload a little bit, maybe kind of above that 1,000 range. A lot of the times what you'll see is when they fail to break resistance, they create a new accumulation range above all the old highs. So you'd almost look for that chart to repeat itself above 800 is one possibility if it doesn't really skyrocket from here. And then they'll go for it again here in a couple of weeks, a couple of months. So like I said, right now, I don't know if it's a buy at this level since it's broken out already. You could almost do the strategic FOMO that Newsom and I like to do and wait on the break of the high and buy in, looking for that next leg up. But kind of, right now it's a bit of a waiting game to see if it can actually power through, if it's going to come back down a bit.
That's what you want to see.
Yep. So if it doesn't break the highs, that's almost exactly what I expect to see. Come back down, it'll accumulate sideways, above the old range, and then go for it again. So obviously, I'd like to see it break the highs right now, because once it starts doing that, it has the potential to go parabolic. But if not, I wouldn't be surprised for the chart to look exactly like that over the next couple of months.
Right. Cool. DNET. That is DNET. Yeah, I understand what Godson's saying about privacy coins out now that Zcash is out and working. So I mean, I'm pretty sure it is working. So, yeah, I was wondering how they would react to Zcash launch, but this one is like one of the few that seems like it is actually holding up and actually going above its local highs. So that's good. Good for DNET.
Mm-hmm.
We got, I don't know what our time is at right now, about 55 minutes or something.
Yeah. People had questions about the WhaleCalls bot on Twitter.
Yeah, someone wanted to know what the margin usage and what maybe they can what a contract is on OKCoin.
Yeah, so if you're on Twitter and you follow the WhaleCalls bot, let me go find this guy real quick so I can see some of his recent tweets. It's one of my favorite.
OKCoin, right? I mean,
he just is tweeting kind of the action on OKCoin, which is the biggest margin trading exchange for Bitcoin. So essentially, what you're seeing is the long and short margin is pretty much almost gives you an idea of what the masses think is going to happen. And it's done by percentage over time frames. A lot of the times what you will see is as Bitcoin starts going up or down, the counter position starts increasing. So as Bitcoin starts going up, you see a lot more people opening shorts. What this tends to cause to happen is that's more fuel for up, because all you do is you start triggering those margin calls to keep on firing the coin, and then more people keep on trying to catch the top, as it were, by shorting, and it just keeps on going up. So when there's a big discrepancy between the two, and that's normally, to me, a big difference is at minimum 10% difference between long and short. I almost expect it to go the other way. So if there's a big short usage, I almost expect it to go up in an attempt to margin call them. As far as the kind of the top contract holder, that's an interesting one. I haven't quite mastered how that works yet personally. You normally have to see kind of what happens as it moves. So if it's moving up and you see his position increase, it's safe to assume he's opening more longs on the way up. Only a good sign.
Yeah, so like the contract on OKCoin is it's like a contract that you spend $5 to buy the contract, and it's worth $100 in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it depends on your usage. If you're doing 10 or 20 times, you can actually do. You can do less, but a contract is worth $100, regardless of the price of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's 200, 2 contracts is worth 1 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's 700, 7 contracts is worth 1 Bitcoin. It stays static, and it's just a kind of an easier way. I trade in contracts on OKCoin when I'm doing margin stuff. I just like it better because I just that way I know I'm opening a position for $1,000 or $2,000, whatever it might be.
It is easier, I think.
So
like other sites.
Yeah. So normally, you can watch that in kind of what they're doing. If it's going up and they're decreasing their contracts, a lot of times it's because they're closing their positions. If they're increasing it, they are reopening it. But you don't know what their position is per se. They don't tell you that, otherwise that would be too fucking easy.
They do have a page,
but it's
I think, don't they? On
yes.
OKCoin?
I mean, they do have some pretty neat charts on OKCoin as far as like top trader sentiment and stuff like that, and margin usage and all those things. The thing I also look for in any sort of a move is are we getting margin calls, and are we getting big margin calls? And by big margin calls, you're looking at a 5,000 plus contract margin call, because once you start seeing a whole lot of those, you can start almost waiting to get in a position for the pullback. Because big moves don't stop until some people are getting their fucking ass handed to them. That's a universal truth on OKCoin.
Right.
The move ain't over until you start seeing the WhaleCalls bot go hard with margin calls, and then once that really happens, you almost always have a $10 to $20 pullback in the opposite direction pretty quickly. So, if I'm at a computer and I'm watching it happen, you can almost try and catch the top if you're careful. You might get wrecked anyway, but the bot's a pretty good sign as to what's happening. Because that's the thing with margin trading. It's very similar to Forex. The movements are trying to call people. Where are they setting their stops at? Let's go hit them, and then hit some margin calls, so that those essentially close our positions, and then let it come back down, and then fuck people with the chop for a week.
Yeah, it's OKCoin, Bitcoin USD trading, especially on 20 times crack leverage, is definitely a day at the casino. I mean, you're taking a big risk there, but it's if you use it, if you have good risk management, then you're actually really not. It's just your money on OKCoin is probably never really safe, So it's not for everyone, but it's interesting. That's for fucking sure. Especially you're talking about like 5,000 contract liquidations, or margin calls. Like, each contract is $100, so that's a $500,000 margin call.
Yep.
So there's someone that got margin called. I don't know if it was for over 100,000 contracts.
Yeah, I've seen like 87,000, 100,000 contracts, and that's fucking brutal.
$9
Yeah. So there have been some big ones on some big moves before. So obviously, right now, based on that, a lot of people are expecting it to go up. We've got more longs open than shorts. Potentially, if those longs keep on increasing, we could see a bit of a pullback to margin call them.
Yeah, it's a dirty game.
It's a very dirty game. They're out there to fucking hurt people, legitimately.
Yes. Don't put all your money on OKCoin if you ever do it. Put a very small bit if you want to try.
Yeah, so that's that for the whale call spot. If you aren't following it, definitely follow it because
It's been quiet.
Yeah, well, he's quiet once the action stops. He's very busy. You know, like I said, you'll see a shit ton of tweets when we reach the local top or bottom for the whatever the move might be. As they say, you know, they're liquidating positions. And what you want to see is some nice 4-figure contract liquidations because that's a good sign that, you know, some big players have been hit. And then it'll resettle and the chart will play out however the fuck it wants to play out.
Right. Well, I think that on that note, we should wrap up the show. It is that time. So
All right.
Yeah, follow WhaleCalls, but you can also follow Shitcoin Talk if you want. You don't have to, but it would be appreciated.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Subscribe, you know, do all that stuff. I think might get the blockchain boys on for next week's show, the blockchain dynamics show guys on there. So they might be on next week, so that's something to look forward to. They're pretty cool. Yeah. You guys have anything else you need to add before we close up shop?
Yeah. It's finally started. It's long-awaited climb to $1 as promised by Max Kaiser a year ago. So I'm excited for that, guys. Let's get rich on StartCoin.
Great job, Max.
Maybe by Shitcoin Talk episode 500.
Yeah. Come on, Max. You can do it.
Or 5,000.
All right. Well, start. Go buy a start because it's going to be $1 soon. Just kidding. All right. Well, bye, guys. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Peace.
Cheers.
See you next week.
Yeah, man.